Topic 10. Planning for Contingencies. Part 2. Incident Response. Incident response is an organization's set of planning and preparation efforts for detecting, reacting to, and recovering from an incident. Incident response planning consists of the actions taken by senior management to develop and implement the IR policy, plan, and computer incident response team. The IR plan is the documented product of incident response planning, a plan that shows the organization's intended efforts in the event of an incident. An adverse event is an event with negative consequences that could threaten the organization's information assets or operations, sometimes referred to as an incident candidate. An incident is an adverse event that could result in the loss of information assets, but does not threaten the viability of the entire organization. An early task for the CPMT is to form a computer security incident response team, an IR team composed of technical IT, managerial IT, and information security professionals who are prepared to detect, react to, and recover from an incident. Key members of the computer security incident response team become the Incident Response Planning Committee and begin work by developing policy to define the operations of the team, to articulate the organizational response to various types of incidents, and to advise end users on how to contribute to the effective response of the organization. This slide illustrates the NIST incident response lifecycle. It starts with preparation, moves to detection and analysis, then moves to containment, eradication, and recovery, and finally, post-incident activity and analysis. NIST Special Publication 800-61 Revision 2, the Computer Security Incident Handling Guide, identifies the following key components of a typical IR policy: a statement of managerial commitment, the purpose and objectives of the policy, the scope of the policy, definition of information security incidents and related terms, organizational structure, and definition of roles, responsibilities, and levels of authority, prioritization or severity ratings of incidents, performance measures, and reporting and contact forms. When a threat becomes a valid adverse event, it is classified as an information security incident if it is directed against information assets, it has a realistic chance of success, and it threatens the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of information assets. It is important to understand that incident response is a reactive measure, not a preventative one. The responsibility for creating an organization's IR plan usually falls to the CISO or an IT manager with security responsibilities. Using the multi-step CP process discussed in the previous section as a model, the CP team can create the IR plan. For every incident scenario, the CP team creates 3 sets of incident handling procedures: during the incident, after the incident, and before the incident. During the incident, planners develop and document the procedures that must be performed. These procedures are grouped and assigned to various roles. The planning committee drafts a set of function-specific procedures. Once the procedures for handling an incident are drafted, planners develop and document the procedure that must be performed immediately after the incident has ceased. Separate functional areas may develop different procedures. This also includes analyzing the effectiveness of the IRP. Planners then draft a third set of procedures, those tasks that must be performed in advance of the incident. These procedures include details of data backup schedules, disaster recovery preparation, training schedules, testing plans, copies of service agreements, and business continuity plans. This slide illustrates incident response planning before an attack, after an attack, and during an attack. Incident response planning requires a detailed understanding of the information systems and the threats they face. The IR planning team seeks to develop predefined responses that guide users through the steps needed to respond to an incident. Predefining incident responses enables rapid reaction without confusion or wasted time and effort. The execution of the IR plan typically falls to the CSIRT. The CSIRT is a subset of the IR team and is composed of technical and managerial IT and information security professionals prepared to diagnose and respond to an incident. In some organizations, the CSIRT may simply be a loose or informal association of IT and InfoSec staffers who would be called up if an attack was detected on the organization's information assets. In other, more formal implementations, the CSIRT is a set of policies, procedures, technologies, people, and data put in place to prevent, detect, react to, and recover from an incident that could potentially damage the organization's information. Incident response actions can be organized into three basic phases. The first is detection, recognizing that an incident is underway. The second is reaction, responding to the incident in a predetermined fashion to contain and mitigate its potential damage. And the third is recovery, returning all systems and data to their state before the incident. There are a number of ways to protect data in preparation for incidents. The traditional method is data backups. The organization can use a combination of on-site and off-site tape drive or hard drive backup methods in a variety of rotation schemes because the backup point is sometime in the past and recent data can potentially be lost. Electronic vaulting is where the organization employs bulk batch transfer of data to an off-site facility. The transfer is usually conducted via lease lines or secure internet connections. In remote journaling, the organization can transfer live transactions to an off-site facility. With remote journaling, only transactions are transferred, not archived data, and the transfer takes place online and much closer to real time. Finally, database shadowing. This is storing duplicate online transaction data along with duplicate databases at the remote site on a redundant server. Writes multiple copies of the database simultaneously in two separate locations. Of course, the challenge is determining whether an event is a routine system use or an actual incident. Incident classification is the process of examining an adverse event or incident candidate and determining whether it constitutes an actual incident. Initial reports from end users, intrusion detection systems, host and network-based virus detection software, and system administrators are all ways to track and detect incident candidates. Careful training allows everyone to relay vital information to the IR team. Possible indicators of an incident include the presence of unfamiliar files, the presence or execution of unknown programs or processes, unusual consumption of computing resources, and unusual system crashes. Other indicators that are more likely include activities at unexpected times, the presence of new accounts, reported attacks, and notification from an intrusion detection system. Definite indicators of an incident include the use of dormant accounts, changes to logs, presence of hacker tools, notifications by a partner or peer, or notification by the hacker themselves. When an actual incident occurs, you may suffer loss of availability, loss of integrity, loss of confidentiality, violation of policy, and/or violation of law. Once an actual incident has been confirmed and properly classified, the IR plan moves from the detection phase to the reaction phase. In the incident response phase, a number of action steps are taken by the CSIRT, and others must occur quickly and may occur concurrently. These steps include notification of key personnel, the assignment of tasks, and documentation of the incident. As soon as an incident is declared, the right people must be immediately notified in the right order. An alert roster is a document containing contact information on the individuals to be notified in the event of an actual incident, either sequentially or hierarchically. The alert message is a scripted description of the incident. Other key personnel must also be notified of the incident only after the incident has been confirmed, but before media or other external sources learn about it. As soon as an incident has been confirmed and the notification process is underway, the team should begin documentation. It should record the who, what, when, where, why, and how of each action taken while the incident is occurring. It serves as a case study after the fact to determine if the right actions were taken and if they were effective. It can also prove the organization did everything possible to deter the spread of the incident. The essential task of incident response is to stop the incident or contain its impact. Incident containment strategies focus on two tasks: first, stopping the incident, and second, recovering control of the systems. Incident containment strategies include disabling compromised user accounts, reconfiguring a firewall to block problem traffic, temporarily disabling the compromised process or service, taking down the conduit application or server, such as an email server, and stopping all computers and network devices. An incident may increase in scope or severity to the point that the IRP cannot adequately contain the incident. Each organization will have to determine during the business impact analysis the point at which the incident becomes a disaster. The organization must also document when to involve outside response. Once the incident has been contained and system control regained, the incident recovery can begin. The CSIRT must assess the full extent of the damage in order to determine what must be done to restore the systems. The immediate determination of the scope of the breach of confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information and information assets is called incident damage assessment. Those who document the damage must be trained to collect and preserve evidence in case the incident is part of a crime or results in a civil action. The incident recovery process includes identifying the vulnerabilities that allowed the incident to occur and spread and resolving them, addressing the safeguards that failed to stop or limit the incident or were missing from the system in the first place, and install, replace, or upgrade them, and evaluate monitoring capabilities, if present, to improve detection and reporting methods or install new monitoring capabilities. Incident recovery also may include restoring data from backups as needed, restoring services and processes in use where compromised and interrupted services and processes must be examined, cleaned, and then restored, continuously monitoring the system, and restoring the confidence of members of the organization's communities of interest. According to McAfee, there are 10 common mistakes that an organization's CSIRTs make in an IR. These include failure to appoint a clear chain of command with specified individual in charge, failure to establish a central operations center, failure to know your enemy as described in topics 1 and 6, failure to develop a comprehensive incident response plan with containment strategies, failure to record incident response activities at all phases, especially help desk tickets to detect incidents, failure to document the events as they occur in a timeline, failure to distinguish incident containment from incident remediation, failure to secure and monitor networks and network devices, failure to establish and manage system and network logging, and failure to establish and support effective antivirus and anti-malware solutions. NIST recommendations for incident handling include acquiring tools and resources that may be of value during incident handling, preventing incidents from occurring by ensuring that network systems and applications are sufficiently secure, identifying precursors and indicators through alerts generated by several types of security software, establishing mechanisms for outside parties to report incidents, requiring a baseline level of logging and auditing on all systems and a higher baseline level on all critical systems, profiling networks and systems, understanding the normal behaviors of network systems and applications, creating a log retention policy, and performing event correlation. Other recommendations include keeping all host clocks synchronized, maintaining and using a knowledge base of information, start recording all information as soon as the team suspects that an incident has occurred, safeguarding incident data, prioritizing handling of the incidents based on relative factors, including provisions for incident reporting in the organization's incident response policy, establishing strategies and procedures for containing incidents, following established procedures for evidence gathering and handling, capturing volatile data from systems and evidence. This could include memory dumps, obtaining system snapshots through full forensic disk images, not file system backups, and hold lessons learned meetings after major incidents to determine how well the IRP has functioned. There are a number of organizational philosophies on incident and disaster handling. Protect and forget, also known as patch and proceed, focuses on the defense of data and the systems that house, use, and transmit it. An investigation that takes this approach focuses on the detection and analysis of events to determine how they happened and how to prevent reoccurrence. Apprehend and prosecute, also known as pursue and prosecute, focuses on the identification and apprehension of responsible individuals, with additional attention paid to the collection and preservation of potential evidentiary material that might support administrative or criminal prosecution.